Hello, this is Right Side Trader. Today is May 8th, 2026, and this is my weekly market review where I'm reviewing the Russell 2000, that's IWM, on a quarterly chart, monthly chart, weekly chart, and a daily chart. This is all for educational purposes only, no trade recommendation because as we all know, trading is risky. You can lose money at trading, so please check with your financial advisor, please check with your significant other, and make sure trading is something that is suitable for you. All right, let's jump over here to these charts and see what we see. Let's maximize this quarterly chart, and boom. On this quarterly chart, what we see is green above a yearly R1, looking very bullish and heading higher. All right, let's go ahead and go down to our monthly chart, see what we see there. We're quite a bit extended off our 9-10 moving average. That's this blue line right here, meaning technically we are in a bull market. Yes, I think everybody knows that we are in a bull market. We did reach an resistance 2 on these quarterly pivots and pull back a little bit, kind of like some of the norm stuff that you can see here. As you see, as it gets close to a resistance 2, a lot of times that first touch, we get a pretty good pullback, but this is only the second month of the quarter. So again, this thing may be setting up to go higher, or will we end up with something like what we got back here? I know everybody's kind of looking out for that, but again, be careful, be careful, be careful. Follow your trading plans and your trading strategies and trade accordingly and all. But that's what I see there. Kind of expect it to continue going higher and all. But let's go ahead and go down to our weekly chart and see what we see there. On this weekly chart, zoom, 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 zoom in here. On this weekly chart, what we see here, we see we're quite a bit extended off the pivot. We're quite a ways off the pivot and all. We can see how close are we to our resistance 1 level on these monthly pivots. On these monthly pivots, we're not too far away from our resistance. My arrow will not change. There we go. Not too far away from our resistance 1 level, which is at 290. Look like we got as high today, as high this week as, what was it? High was 287, and 290 is our high. So I kind of expect us to, again, the Russell is one of these different ones, the round number that I would have expected to be slowing down at, you never know on the Russell, but it's kind of like every it could be this 290. Again, that's why I'm always kind of cautious about the Russell. I prefer not to trade it at all. It's kind of like you catch it after a pull. The Russell is one of these ones you catch it after a pullback, and you play it for $10 increments, and that $10 increment here is at 90, and we're only a few ways away from it. It can give us a nice little pullback and then continue higher, or it can slow down like this around when it gets close to these $10 increments. It kind of busts through there pretty good, but it came back down and test there. And again, as you can see back here, this $10 increment is where it kind of like pulled back and it took off. So again, the Russell is one of these ones. I call it my $10 increment trade, and going too much into other stuff. All right. But the Russell, as we can see on this weekly chart, it is green and look like it still is ready to go higher, in my opinion. But it can be at a place where it's going to slow down. But I kind of expect it to still jump over that 290 and get to 300. They usually, those round numbers are magnets. But let's go ahead and go down to our daily noise and wrap this on up. On this daily chart, what we see here, and see again, I hadn't even taken a look at this daily picture here yet. But see how on this daily picture, how we got this big red candle here. This is kind of like what if I was I didn't trade the Russell this week because again last week it broke me, because I got in a little bit too early before it actually made its move to the upside, and I didn't give myself enough time. Again, I'm talking too much about trading here, but again, this is what kind of like on the Russell now. It has given us a bearish pattern at a top, and it's still traded inside that bearish pattern today. This candle, this doji candle right here. So again, the Russell is one of those ones where there are some trading strategies that actually works pretty good here on the Russell that I do like doing, but it's not one that I really like. I prefer to trade the NASDAQ directional more so than I like trading the Russell directional. Again, but come next week, I do kind of expect us to open above pivot. That's this line right here. See, even though this is where we closed at here on Friday, we could, if something crazy happened over the weekend with the Russell, I definitely could see the Russell dropping, pulling back a little bit, maybe down to a support level like it did right here for a couple of days, and then it starts back on its merry way back up. and all. So be careful with the Russell and all. That's all I really can say. And that's all I really pretty much have to share at this time. I hope everybody had a great week. Hope everybody have a great weekend. And I'll talk to you next week. This is the Right Side Trader. Have a good one. Bye.